is the very first time that this new visitor center has been open to the public, and what a great amount of men and women we've gathered here with young people as well to really adhere to the axiom that President Teddy Roosevelt said more than 100 years ago, that conservation is the patriotic thing to do, and we believe in that. President Roosevelt was the one who kind of led us forward in our country to the great national parks and wildlife refuges that we have all over America. Very important that we protect them. We also understand that there are pockets of wilderness around our state of Illinois, and it's our job in order to do right by not only our own children but our children's children to have an ethic that seeks to preserve and advance our outdoor areas. And what we're talking about today in the executive order I'm going to be signing will establish a steering committee for Millennium Reserve. That's what we call this great effort that we're embarked upon. 140,000 acres, we hope, of open space, the largest open space project in America. We have all kinds of folks working on this, and we want to use the steering committee as a way to bring people in, everybody in, nobody left out when it comes to building Millennium Reserve. We understand how important it is to have our children in nature, experiencing nature, not just children, but everybody, no matter what your age. I think there's a spiritual quality that we all get from being out in nature, and this is one of the best nature areas in all of America.
Under the leadership of Governor Pat Quinn, and now with this advisory council of blue chip stakeholders, we're going to be able to move this ball downfield and have the potential to have a historic contribution to this great city and to the region. Millennium Reserve is three things. I'm going to kind of piggyback on Alderman Pope's eloquent words and say it's three things. It's a place, it's a collaboration, and it is also a new model for change. And that change is going to restore the environment and the communities in the Calumet area. As a place, Millennium Reserve is first and foremost stretching from downtown Chicago east all the way to the Indiana border. We see this Calumet core area as an environment. There's an ecosystem here that has lakes, marshes, wetlands. Much of it has been altered and degraded, but it's also a place of globally rare biodiversity. We want to try to protect that biodiversity and also to address some of the legacy of industrial pollution and waste disposal. Preserving these resources is a smart investment for the economy. We've been talking a little bit about fishing and hunting, but those people who do that, that's 1.4 million citizens in Illinois that fish or hunt. That produces a $2.5 billion economic investment in the state. And for those that watch wildlife, enjoy wildlife, and come to parks, that's 2.8 million people, and that also has a $1.4 billion economic impact every year in the state of Illinois. The Calumet core is also, and perhaps first and foremost, a community. It's home to 400,000 residents, 36 municipalities, and all of those are confronting the challenges of outmigration, industrial pollution, and lagging economic growth. In the coming years, our goal is to transform the region defined by the Millennium Reserve and take that from an environmentally and economically challenged area into a vibrant urban space. The governor mentioned that this is the largest urban park restoration area in the country. We're going to take that and balance nature, industry, and community. And we seek to create these opportunities in an environmentally sound industry while protecting that biodiversity I spoke of. Now, for the collaboration, Millennium Reserve's ambitious goals for the region cannot be achieved by one organization or one state agency especially alone. On the contrary, the objectives for the Calumet region will be advanced through many initiatives developed by a variety of committed individuals and organizations, many of them who have been working in the region for years. The Millennium Reserve Partnership brings together organizations and individuals to leverage existing resources and accomplish results. Now, we are thrilled to be joined today by students from the Mighty Acorns program, and a total of 400 students, right? 400 students through 4th and 6th grade from 5 Calumet area schools that participate in this program and learn about ecology and stewardship. They are our future. We also want to recognize Zana Yermakov from the Chicago Park District for her work as manager of the natural resources and Calumet development. Zana, we look forward to working with you on Park District lands. We'll talk about those in just a second. We also are representing here a new model for change. Gone are the days when economic growth trumped environmental health and community well-being. We believe that we can no longer afford to pursue opportunities for economic growth that disregard the impact on the environment. Nor can we forward environmental restoration activities without prioritizing projects that advance economic prosperity and account for the needs of the community. The Millennium Reserve model presupposes cooperation among economic, environmental, and community goals, and success in one area is going to forward the well-being of the whole. And we recognize that Millennium Reserve Initiative has been launched in a time of economic challenges, but this is a harbinger of a new era of a renewal. Millennium Reserve represents a new model of getting things done in a new world, and we want to achieve these results where historic boundaries can be crossed and the silos are dismantled and the competition for resources is replaced by collaboration towards long-term gains. Now, we're going to talk about some of the things that we're going to do collaboratively together. The governor asked that I talk about some of these grants. We're going to use a $600,000 grant from Coastal Zone Management to go out into the community with community organizations and partnering with local schools to teach 5,000 kids a year how to fish and to enjoy the outdoors. So we're looking with connecting those children to the outdoors and give them a sense of place, a sense of connection to nature so they can learn a skill and enjoy the outdoors. We also have invested in our Green Corps program here in Chicago, $396,000, which is going to create a number of jobs where they're going to work on the environment, working on invasive species, and be able to learn skills that will launch, hopefully, people into new green careers. Under the Coastal Zone Management Program, we've also received a $200,000 grant to work with the Chicago Park District to improve two of their land acquisitions in the Millennium Reserve area. There's also the $5 million that Arnold Randall mentioned in the trails through the ITEP program. It's going to connect people with the already existing 53 miles of trails that we have in the Millennium Reserve area. And then finally, we have invested here $900,000 of capital dollars for the Illinois Jobs Now program to build this facility. And we're hoping that sometime later in the year, in the spring, we're going to be able to open it up to the public with an interpretive center that will be able to educate and connect people to this very unique place. So that's the list. We have made significant investments and will continue to do so. And with the executive order today, we'll be able to collaborate more and work together so that we can leverage those investments and continue to work on making this the greatest restoration initiative in the country. Thank you very much.
Very good, Mark.